TAGNBRAG Nation and Goose Chasers, welcome back to another episode of Goose Chasing, where we don't talk about geese at all. It is more about the goose chase of the hunt, of the pursuit, of the chase, of life in general. And we're happy to be back here on episode number 94. That is right, number 94. We are quickly gaining on episode 100. And it kind of seems like it's lining up to be an episode that maybe launches or airs or comes from North Dakota. I'm just saying. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying. Anyway, we are here back at Camp Cutlet. We are actually going into the third episode of Food Plot Chronicles. If you haven't seen any of the episodes up until this point, I would highly recommend you go over to our YouTube channel and check that out immediately and catch yourself up, because we've got some good stuff going on. We showed you in the first episode, we showed how we plant corn and beans from a no-till planter. And we got a bunch of equipment from Ackerman Equipment and Rental out of Mount Hope, Ohio. We used a bunch of equipment that we had never used before, which was awesome. We got experience with it. We've gotten to understand it and got education on it from them a little bit more. Built a great relationship, or are building a great relationship with them. All of the equipment, if you check out Ackerman Equipment and Rental on Facebook, or not on Facebook, I'm sorry, go to their website and check them out. You can literally buy and or rent any of the equipment that we used in our videos and more, a lot more, right on their website. Give them a call. They are amazing people. They will literally drop this equipment, big food plot equipment, tractors, no-till drills, corn planters, sprayers, anything you can imagine to cultivate the earth, they will drop off to your doorstep for you. Amazing people, amazing company, and they helped us out a ton. We got probably about 10 to 12, probably closer to 12 acres of corn and beans in the ground in more or less a day and a half, you could say, because it was one day to the next. But we didn't start planting until like noon on the first day, and we got done by 1 o'clock on day 2. So more or less a day's worth of time planting, which normally takes us at least 3 to 4 days, with all the things that we kind of cut out, how we were more efficient. And most of everything is looking great right now. There are some areas that just got a little wet. I mean, we planted in a 3-day window where it was like the only 3-day window in between just a boatload of rain. All of June, pretty much. A majority of the end of May rained. Literally, a majority of the end of May, the last couple weeks in May, rained. We planted the first week of June, and we were in finally, like I said, like a 3-day dry window. And then it went to literally June was a wash. I mean, it would not stop raining. We would get like periodic sun for like half a day or something like that. But we got so much rain then in the first couple weeks of June. And now it's been hot. So the stuff that did really germinate and start taking off is going like crazy right now, which is awesome. But some of the stuff, there was parts of our cornfields and stuff that just, unfortunately got drowned out, and there was nothing that you could really do to stop that. We have experimented with broadcasting some corn in those spots, which you can see on our second episode of Food Plot Chronicles, where we talk a little bit more about food plot architecture. We've got three food plots that are basically in a little 30-acre chunk. And one is a green clover plot. One is a partial corn, partial beans that sits right up next to the road. and the other one is mostly corn and is going to be a little bit of a Whitetail Institute brassicas turnip mix. And so we kind of use this food plot system in congruency with one another. And the interior portion of it, the clover plot, is an awesome spot for daylight activity. It's a little bit closer to the bed, especially during the summer, the late summer and early fall. It's an awesome time to catch these bucks up on their feet as they're still kind of bachelored up a little bit. It's always got scrapes all around that plot, so it's a great communication spot for these deer. So a lot of deer are in and out of this spot early in the day, late in the morning, early in the afternoon. It's a daylight, highly coveted and highly traveled daylight spot. And they're in there because it's closer to the bed than the two corn and bean plots are. But ultimately, they're making their way from the bed to that clover plot and then to one of the two grain plots as kind of more of a destination. And then they really go back and forth most of the night from either grain plot. So it's a pretty cool little system. We talk about that on the second episode of Food Plot Chronicles. So I would love for you guys to check that out because it's pretty cool. We're doing things a little bit different this year, going in a little bit more depth of technical stuff within the food plot world and with the land within the land management world that allows you to see how we've set this up and how the property is kind of morphed into a whitetail mecca and a whitetail paradise. But anyway, it's good stuff. And today I'm actually going to be shooting some interviews and filming for the third episode, which is talking about our front field, more corn, more turnips, more clover. And we're going to talk a lot in this next episode, which is going to launch on Monday, about not only food plot architecture, but food plot diversity and giving deer multiple options in a single field and why that is beneficial and why we do it and why we've grown accustomed to doing it over the years as opposed to just planting one single thing in one field and then one single thing in another field, giving them a little bit of diversity in order to allow them to choose what is palatable, what they'll eat, and allow for the spots in and around that specific field to be useful more throughout the season as opposed to, just taking advantage of the early season or just taking advantage of the late season, middle of the season. You know what I'm talking about. So that's what you got to look forward to on Food Plot Chronicles. Like I said, if you have not already, go to our YouTube channel and check out the first two episodes. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Get involved in the chronies. People love the chronies, People love, it's one of our, it doesn't get as many views as some of our hunting videos and stuff like that, which is obvious. I mean, everybody likes seeing a deer go down. Everybody likes seeing big deer on camera, yada, yada, yada. But it does. The audience that is on there is locked in. They're locked in because people are learning from this, to some degree, learning the hard way off of our mistakes, which we are going to show even more of this year. And we've already made a few mistakes that as we progress through Food Plot Chronicles, as we progress through the chronies, you'll be able to see the things that maybe we coulda, shoulda, woulda done, or we wish we would have done different. So not that you can necessarily apply that to this year's plots for yourself, but you'll be able to kind of jot down some notes and apply that for next year as well. It's all good things here in TAGNBRAG Nation, Goose Chasing, Food Plot Chronies. It's all good things. Anyway, I'm here. Another solo episode. Deano and I we have not been able to line it up. Life is getting crazy. Dean's got a child now. So getting that kid to sit down for an hour to record these podcasts is getting tough. But I'm not going to sit here and say that and use that as an excuse not to give the people what they want. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk some goose chase, and we're going to talk some hunting scenarios. We're going to talk about stories. We're going to apply what we've got going on right now, and we're just going to have some fun regardless. So, Deano, when you're back, can't wait to see you. But for now, you guys got me, and you're going to have to deal with it. Sorry, I'm not sorry, okay? Just joined the 1871 club for Field and Stream. It's a great club. If I was you, I would do it for sure. You get one of these sick hats. You get a new Field and Stream edition, magazine edition every month, which are sick. They're huge. They're thick. I mean, thick magazines. And these things, when I was growing up, Field and Stream was it for me. You know, you dive into that, and I would read these stories in Field and Stream, whether it was fishing, hunting, you know, reading some of the stories from farther out west, or even some of the western more states of whitetail hunting, like Montana and Kansas and Texas, you know, some of the states that are west of the Mississippi that are were so out of my league and my thoughts. Well, not out of my thoughts. They were very much in my thoughts, but it felt like they were so out of my league when I was younger that I would read about some of these stories in the old Field and Streams, and I could visualize it, and I could feel like I was there. And it was it was almost like I was manifesting it to a certain degree, because I've been blessed to now be able to hunt Kansas and now be able to film hunts in Montana and, you know, hunt Illinois and Missouri and Wisconsin and some of these states that, quite honestly, like I said, I didn't think that would ever be possible for me to hunt before. So when I was younger, I'd be reading these stories, and I was so locked in. I was so locked in. And as I would read them, I could almost feel the coldness of the air and the tree that was being described that they were sitting in, and kind of see the deer that they were describing, or their experiences that they were describing, almost like their version of the goose chase, you know? They were setting up the hunt in words, and I could visualize that. I could get there pretty easily, actually. So shout out to the writers that were in there, because they did that for me. And my imagination also went there pretty easily. During the fall, especially, school to me was a secondary thing. Let's be honest. I was in the woods in my mind all the time. I was, because all my buddies played football. I should have done that. I had a couple really good buddies play golf, and I was actually pretty good at golf when I was younger. Should have done that in high school, you know, or leading up, middle school into high school. Should have done that, but I didn't, because literally I would get done with school on Friday, and as soon as my dad was done with work, or as soon as Uncle Jay was done with work, or either one of them were ready to pick me up, we were coming up here to New York. And if we could get an afternoon hunting on Friday, it was a bonus, obviously. But we did it. We made the excuse to do it, and we did it. And so literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and most of Friday, I'm in the woods. And especially if I would have had an experience in the woods, and this was even before I could legally pull the trigger. This started when I was in elementary school, but when I could literally, when I had an experience in the woods that was insane to me, or maybe my dad flung an arrow, or Uncle Jay flung an arrow, and we went on a goose chase that previous weekend. At that point, I might as well have not even gone to school. I might as well have not even been in class, because I was not there. Mentally, not even there. I'm back in the woods. I'm replaying the scenario. If we didn't recover the deer, I'm replaying the scenario. Even if we did recover the deer, I'm replaying the scenario, how it broke down, how it happened, what we did. If we saw the deer go down sick, if we went, I don't know, on a goose chase, I'm replaying that. I'm imagining another hunt similar, or another hunt that could be, or a deer that like was unknown. You got to remember, at this point, there's no trail cameras back then. Like, the earliest trail camera that I can remember was the Wildlife Eye that Mark Drury had, that you literally put a camcorder in and it took videos. And this thing was in a box like the size of a phone booth. It was huge. But we would, like, I was so locked into the hunt that nothing else mattered to me. Nothing else mattered. Like, it was like, just get done with school so you could get back out there and explore that unknown and explore what is to come. And it was the anticipation. It killed me. It killed me all the time. It killed me. It was like, I got to get back there. I want to have another experience. I want to see what else is out there. I want to explore. I want to sit in a different stand. I want to go move a stand. I want to sit with my dad. I want to sit with Uncle Jay. I want to get in early in the morning. I was always scared, like, not scared of the dark, but, you know, there's bears up here in New York. So naturally, as a kid, like, you know, even walking in with my dad or Uncle Jay in the dark, it's like, you know, we're walking in, you know, we got paths cut that are like barely, like a little bit wider than your shoulders, you know, so bears could be like 14 inches away and you don't even know they're there in the dark. They can just pop out and kind of breathe on you a little bit or something, lick you. So it was like, in the dark, you know, it was like, that was such an anxious time for me, like getting in the dark. Like, after we shut the truck door, the lights went out, and it was always like, my dad, he had to be in there in the dark. Like, it had to be black. I don't want to see shit. Dark. Dark. Darker than you could ever imagine. We had to get into the stand, let things settle down, and then wake up with the world. He wanted to see the first little bit of sun that was coming up over the horizon. We had to be in the stand for that. So we were walking in the dark. It was an anxious time for me. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, looking over my shoulder, you know, we're creeping in. It was like all that I could handle just to get to the stand. And once we got into the stand, it was like, it was a breath of fresh air. Then it was kind of like you could get in the stand and you could kind of just like close your eyes for a second. Because, I mean, you weren't shooting anything for easily half hour to 45 minutes easily. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, thank God we're here. No bears are going to get us here. We're set up. Now I can hear, you know, the surroundings. When you're walking in, you're crunching the leaves. It's like, you are the surroundings. You know, you're the surroundings. Now I can hear the surroundings. Okay. So I feel a little bit better about the situation. Well, you know, we would wake up with the world, and like, any little experience with deer was crazy to me. Like, any experience with a deer coming through the woods, any leaf crunch, everything was unknown, because there wasn't trail cameras. There wasn't, like, you know, we scouted a little bit here just to move stands and stuff like that. But then once the stand was moved, it was like, now that's an established spot. And that's just how we hunted. You know, we had 40 acres and then it turned into 80 some acres. And on that land, like, that's how we hunted. So, man, like, there was so much unknown. Like, there was so much area around here, woods on woods, and neighbors, you know, properties. And like, we would go spotlighting when we were younger, because we just wanted to see, you know, the deer and the caliber of deer that were around here. And we would see some of these bucks that were like, you know, big. We never experienced that in the woods. And it was like, oh my God, like, can you ever imagine if something like that came up to you in the tree stand, you would come unglued. You'd probably go into cardiac arrest or something. I mean, it maybe not quite that, but it would be close. It would be close. But I just remember like those times, and it was just that unknown part of it. It had me on one. It had me just so locked in to wanting more, to wanting to know more and figure out more or whatever. Like it had me so freaking locked in. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And it took me out of any other school activities, any other friend activities in the fall, because there was one place I needed to be Friday after school, and that was in a truck heading east up here to camp, which this place didn't even exist. We were parking trucks on the side of the road and getting dressed in the rain, sleet, snow, whatever the elements had for us that day. We were getting dressed and going into the woods in it. And really, the more elements we had, it was like the better, you know, like it was like, yeah, nobody's out here in this shit. Like it's raining sideways and some of the rain feels like hard pellets of snow and it's cold as shit and windy. And like, why would anybody go into a tree stand in this? Nobody would, but we're going in it. Yeah. Like, I mean, it was just like, that was the mentality. It was like, you know, if you're a workhorse, just blaze trail right through all the elements and you're going to get it done somehow. That was the mentality. It was awesome, honestly. It was awesome to grow up like that. I spent 6 or 7 years at least in the woods as a bystander without a weapon, just loving every minute of the experiences and the goose chases that I got to go on. So, and now, turn the page now, my curiosity for more is always on high alert. My curiosity for more. I want to experience the unknown. I want more unknown in my hunting world. I want to like experience things that I've never experienced or that I've always dreamed about experiencing. So I put in for a Colorado elk tag because chasing elk in the mountains is something that I am infatuated by. I want the physical aspect of it. I want the chase aspect of it. I want the hard aspect of it. It's a clean slate as a hunter for me, even though I'm a hunter at heart. So I feel like I could figure out, you know, I'm not like just getting into hunting, you know what I mean? But hunting an elk, a bugling elk in the mountains is something that I've always wanted to do. And I put in for an elk tag and I got in touch with somebody out in Colorado and felt comfortable about them and what, you know, where they're at and what they're doing. Because for me, like, I'm not naive to the fact that like, I'm not just going to pick up an elk bugle and start bugling in bulls. Like it's easy. That ain't going to happen. It's just not. So I want to go with somebody and learn. I also want to be with somebody who knows the mountains and can teach me that way too. And if I'm going to spend the time and money to go out there, then it only makes sense to do any of that. You know, to spend a little bit more money to be with somebody who can call, who knows the mountain, who knows the elk a little bit more, where you can get an experience that is an experience that's actually going to learn you something at a faster pace, as opposed to just being like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go in at public land and I'm gonna hike in miles and I'm gonna kill this bull and I'm gonna quarter him and all this stuff. Like I need the help in this, as novice as I am from an elk hunting standpoint. Like I need the help, and I'm not afraid to like say that, admit it, whatever. I need the help. I want the help because I want to learn. You know, I want to learn. I want to learn the right way so that eventually, handful of years down the road, I can pick up a bugle of my own. I can call in an elk for myself. I can go into public land, you know, deep by myself, pitch a tent and, get into elk and have that experience, like that solitude and that experience. I want that as a hunter, as somebody who grew up on a 40-acre chunk of land in Western New York, which is like in the bottom 5 hunting states of the country always. Like every year, Deer and Deer Hunting has a poll that's out, and every year New York is in the bottom 5. If they're not 1 or 2 or maybe 3, but they're normally for sure in the bottom 5. Somebody that's come from that, that experience, and that it's piqued my interest and it's encapsulated me that much to be able to now turn an elk hunt in Colorado into reality is freaking awesome. It's awesome. And it also proves, and I'm not saying this to like toot my own horn, because it just proves that anybody can do it. If you want to do something, if you want that experience, if you want that as a part of your life, you can have it. You can have it. You've just got to be willing to maybe get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Maybe commit to paying a little bit more money than you're used to or you have or whatever. Or just apply for the tag and see what happens. That's what I did. I applied it. I missed the first draw. I applied in the second draw. I got drawn, and I'm going in September. The 3rd week of September, your boy is going to the mountains of Colorado, and I'm going to chase bugles in the mountains, and I am so freaking fired up. I'm so fired up, and I'm telling you, like, over the last 6 to 8 months, I've gotten closer to God than I've ever gotten in my life. And he has validated things for me, and he has talked to me, and he has put me in positions and scenarios and experiences and opportunities that I never thought were possible prior to building that relationship to the degree that I have built it with him now, prior to that. So I'm like, I am so fired up, but I kind of manifested this because when we were all applying for Kansas tags, me, Dean, Uncle Jay, we're all applying for Kansas tags. We're trying to get a group together. So if one of us draw, all of us draw. For one reason or another, it didn't happen. We were trying to do it too late. We had to put in, I actually had put in about a week prior to Dean and Uncle Jay. And so we all applied separate for that. And I told myself, and I was telling somebody else, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I'm like, I would give up my Kansas whitetail tag. And mind you, Kansas has become one of my favorite states to hunt. Kansas has always been a dream and a bucket list whitetail hunt for me. And for the past 2 years, I've gone to Kansas and had that opportunity to hunt Kansas, which I'm extremely grateful for. But I missed a deer, or I missed a buck on the last day on the first year that I went there. Last year, 2 trips, didn't fire an arrow, didn't even draw my bow in 2 trips. So I've been striking out in Kansas, but I'm like, I would give up my Kansas tag if it meant that I could get a Colorado, or not even Colorado, if it meant that I could hunt elk with a bow in Colorado. Why do I keep saying Colorado? It didn't matter. I applied in Montana. I applied in Wyoming. I applied in Colorado. I put a point in for Arizona, I think. I had points going on everywhere, but I just wanted an opportunity. I just wanted an opportunity to go. Didn't draw in Montana. Didn't draw in Wyoming. Missed the first draw for Colorado. So my chances are striking out. They're literally striking out. And I'm kind of getting down on myself at this point. And I don't even remember. This is just a couple months ago. I reached out to a buddy who's hunted Colorado before. I kind of had heard that you could slip in for a second draw. And I'm picking his brain. Hey, like, where do you hunt? What units do you hunt? Whatever. Like, I really wanted this to happen. He's like, oh, dude, do you realize there's a second draw? I'm like, I kind of thought there was, but no, honestly. And then he's like, I got a guy for you. Let me recommend him. Reach out to this dude, see if he's got any openings, and see if he can hook you up with a hunt. I'm like, all right, sick. So I reached out to him. He was like, I've got to wait for the first draw to come in to see how many spots that I have open, and then we can figure out you for the second draw. But you should draw in the second draw if you don't. And we were talking rifle hunts, bow hunts. I'm like, dude, ultimately I want to bow hunt an elk. Like I want the bugles, I want the rut action, I want the screaming, I want the crazy hecticness. I want the challenge of getting close in bow range of one of these things. As much as I want to shoot one and have the elk meat and all that stuff, like that's ultimately what I want. He's like, all right. So went through, first draw comes in. David, I got a couple openings. I'm like, sick. How do I put in for the second draw? He gets me all dialed in, put in for the second draw, wait about a week and a half. Lo and behold, I get an email that says you were successful at drawing a Colorado elk tag. I was sitting right in this seat right here. I was doing work on the computer, sitting right in this seat right here. I saw that email. I ran outside. I literally ran full sprint with my shoes off outside up to the pond. I took my shirt off. I was waving it around as if I just had a hat trick in the World Cup as a freaking soccer player or something. And I got up there and I thanked God. I'm like, God, you did this. You did it. Because he did. He did. Like, I was talking and he was listening and he put the pieces of the puzzle together. Like I said, I felt like I manifested this whole thing, but I didn't manifest it alone. I can tell you that right now with pure confidence. I did not manifest this alone. And the big man upstairs has gotten me here. And I am telling you, without a doubt, I'm going to Colorado to hunt elk with my bow for the first time ever at 37. By that time, I'll be 38 years old, and I am so freaking fired up. You have no idea. And it just proves that if a kid with a passion for whitetail hunting small, tiny bucks in Western New York on 40 acres, sitting in a tree stand in between their dad or their uncle's feet, freezing their ass off, loving every minute of it as a little boy, if he can dream that shit and make it happen, and make it freaking happen, even if it took 20 to almost 30 years later to make it happen, if he can do that, then anything can happen. You can do it. You can do it. But you can't do it alone. You got to do it with the grace of God. And that's how you got to do it. So I am fired freaking up, you guys. I am even more fired up that we have gotten to this point in our journey with Tag and Brag and Goose Chasing, where you all are coming with us no matter what. No matter what. You know this is going to be documented to the fullest. Daily vlogs, the pure excitement, raw emotion, good, bad, indifferent, no matter what happens, no matter what the outcome is. You're going to see it. You're coming along with me on my first ever elk hunt, and I'm so pumped and proud of that fact in general. So I just, honestly, I want to thank everybody on here who listens consistently, because you guys are all a part of making this happen. You guys are all a part of the motivation and inspiration for me to continue to document all this. You guys are all a part of the growth and the journey that Dean, Uncle Jay, my dad, and I have all endured together while we've documented all this over the last 10 plus years. And I'm fired up. I'm fired up. I'm fired up to be able to have the opportunity at this new journey, at something completely different, at a complete unknown. The little boy in me is screaming with excitement every day when I wake up, now that I've drawn this tag and I get closer and closer to it and planning it and understanding what it's going to take and all that stuff. Like the little boy and the kid in me that was sitting at the desk every week and wanting to get back to this land up here, the 40 acres that we started out hunting, because he just wanted to learn more and understand more about what was going on and see what else was out there. That little boy is coming alive again, and he is coming alive with a vengeance, and I cannot wait to release him into the wild, into the mountains of Colorado. And you know what? Win, lose, or draw, it's going to be an amazing experience, and I am so, so grateful for it. I've done this long enough now, and I've had the opportunity to travel to different places to hunt, to travel to new places that I've never experienced before to hunt, to know and understand how hard it is to come out of the gate and be in a new place, in a new state, in a new area that you've never been before, and be successful, especially with your bow. So I'm almost trying to eliminate the expectations of the outcome of the hunt and just lean in to enjoying every single freaking minute of it. And I can't wait. I cannot freaking wait. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little excited. I'm a little anxious. I'm shooting my bow constantly. I'm running like I've never run before. I'm in better shape than in preparation to this months ago. And I try and keep myself in shape regardless. But in preparation for this months ago, I just started to go ham. I did. I just started to go ham. And I'm in better shape right now than I've been in years. And I'm proud of that too. But it's all in preparation for this. And yeah, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the stars aligning and all of this coming together. And I cannot wait to bring you all along with me and with us. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be freaking awesome. You're going to be able to watch another dream come true and unfold right in front of your eyes, because you guys know, like, the way that we film and the way that we produce this content, it's you get the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're going to get all the raw emotions in the mix. You're going to get, the excitement of first getting there, the excitement of getting out there for the first time, the hardships of hiking the mountains, and I'm sure the hardships of the hunt in general. And my golly, Miss Molly, if we can connect on a freaking bull there, I will literally, you guys, I don't know. I don't know what will happen. I don't know what will happen. I can't even predict what will happen with my emotions. You guys know that I'm an emotional human being. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I am damn proud of it. What you see is what you get. The energy that you see and you feel is how I live and act every single day. Sometimes it's fantastic, and other times I gotta look myself in the mirror and go, hey, cuz, get it together. But you all see that unfold in our hunts and throughout each of our seasons, and I'm just excited to bring that to you and to bring that little boy out in me in documenting all this, and I cannot wait. I just can't wait. I'm excited for North Dakota. I'm excited for Tennessee velvet season, all coming before this elk hunt. But as we get to that point, I am just beyond excited to get out to the mountains and experience this unknown, and Lord knows what will happen. God willing, we get an opportunity, but my goodness, it's going to be a fantastic experience regardless, and y'all are coming with us, and I am damn proud of it. So I think with that note, I'll let you guys send it off from there. Once again, if you don't already subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram. Our Facebook page is still hacked, so hey, Meta, double middle fingers to you. Thanks for nothing. And we will see y'all right back here next Wednesday or Thursday, might I add, on another episode, the 95th episode of Goose Chasing. I absolutely love each and every one of y'all, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you. Peace.